Go that way. Go talk me.
Where's the light?
Good day, everyone. Today's debate addresses a question that affects students, parents, employers, and the entire nation. And more important, the success, if a success is gotten through education or skills. In a world where we are today, we are faced with this debate. Is the classroom still the key to success? Or is the skill the key to success? So we are here to deliberate more on that, and I'll be your wonderful host for today. My name is Ohai Manuel, and I'll be introducing my distinguished colleagues that are here with me to deliberate on the fact if education is still the key to success or skills is the key to success. So from my left hand, please kindly introduce yourself.
Sorry. What miracle? So very miracle. My name is Marco. My name is Panka.
Okay, from my right hand.
My name is Austin Moya. My name is Ojufi.
Okay, so these are beautiful guests for today's debate. First of all, before we kindly move into if education is still the main thing for success. First of all, please, for the education part, can you tell us what you mean by education being the skill, being key to success? What's your overview for being education as a key?
Okay, thank you. Good day, viewers and my fellow contestants. Um, I'm here to support the motion that education is better than skill acquisition. So before I go further, I would say I want to tell you what education is. When it comes to education, education is a systematic process whereby we learn, not just learning, we learn to communicate, we learn other skills in education. We learn the process on how to complete a data, how to run surveys and other things. When it comes to education, you don't just only focus on one thing, you focus on everything that is being taught in the field of education. So I would broadly tell you that education teaches you everything that you ought to understand or you ought to know when it comes to lifetime opportunity, jobs, or whatsoever you meet in the future. So my colleague will be telling you more about education. Good day, everyone. So our first reason will be for we all know skills they fuse our capacity, but when we have education, education help us build the capacity more. It operates the system with a logic, language, what we need to learn. Most things that are in the world now, they are most educated people who employs them. People call it skills, 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 skills. We all know for a new logic to come out in a skills, we need at least a good um we need a good thing to like how we look at it like so be those AI we use, those things we use to operate new skills, new things come out. They are most technologic and I guess is education is the best if I must call it.
Okay, I if I could understand your perspective concerning education is, I guess from Monia, she said, and also from Faith, that the logic, the scientific discovery that we have in the world today is due to the course of education. Okay, first of all, to make this thing more interesting, I would like you guys to tell me, to tell our audience, better on in what approach or how will you grade an education perspective, will you say somebody that just gained primary six living certificate is an literate, or somebody from the SS3 level is an literate, or somebody from the higher institution, probably from BSc degree, is an literate? How will you rate an literate in education aspect?
Okay, I'll take that question. You see, what she was trying to explain is what we call abstract thinking. In terms of abstract thinking, sorry, in the sense that education teaches you how to analyze. Education teaches you how to analyze complex and to solve abstract problems. Okay, then back to your question. You said, how will I classify a primary five school living person? I won't say a dropout. I will say a primary five school living person.
Okay.
If he or she is a literate or an illiterate.
Yeah.
Okay, you see, when it comes to education, a person or an individual that passed through education to a primary level, I'm trying to go low, a primary level, if I would say they are educated or not, I would tell you that they are.
Okay.
In terms of not everyone, but at least a person that, stopped at primary five, did their first school living certificate exam, can be able to read and write.
Definitely, that's true.
You can be able to read and write. That person can also choose if you want to further or you don't want to further, right? So are you trying to say, okay, the person just stopped permanently in primary school, or you are just asking in terms of
My basic question is that would you classify somebody that stopped in primary school as an literate, like as an educated person, or you base your education on from maybe from the SS3 level or from the
okay,
university level?
okay, I get it now. Yes, I will.
Okay, okay, that's good. So please, for the skill, we want to get an overview of how you classify your skill. I guess our audience out there will want to know at what level, because we have some skills classified under vocational studies. So I want you guys to elaborate more, to explain more the type of skills and what angle does the skill cover.
All right. We are talking about vocational skills, which we all know as handwork.
Okay,
It provides immediate value.
okay,
It helps us have self-reliance.
okay,
When you talk about skills, which everyone knows as handwork, it makes us earn money very fast.
okay. Um, can you just make us understand the types of skill, like list out the types of skill?
Okay, for example, a mechanic, a carpenter, hairdressers.
Okay, 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 okay. Let's get this straight. Since your skill covers this vocational part, um, we want you guys to just get this straight. You are saying in Nigeria today, education is actually the key to success, and you guys are saying education is that skills is actually the key to success. And for instance, okay, let's put it this way. Um, will you say a person can just go into this carpentry, um, mechanic, and tailoring, hairdressing, stylist without any formal knowledge of education?
Yes, I agree to that.
So
Yes.
you agree that nobody can go without a formal knowledge, or you agree that without a formal knowledge you can acquire this skill?
Without a formal knowledge, you can acquire it.
Okay, that means for somebody that did not pass, maybe he just went for kindergarten and no primary school, stays in the village, just came to the city and decided to just start learning handwork. Do you think it's possible for the person to gain this vocational skills without knowing how to read, knowing how to write. Because I guess that's the basic foundation of education, right? So without knowing how to read, without knowing how to write, how do you think that was very, very possible?
Yes, very, very possible. Some parents now, they can't afford education, even right from primary school. Some live in the village where there's nothing like school.
Yeah.
During the process, they just engage the children into it.
Okay. In my course of study, I'm not trying to be sentimental here, but trying to make our audience understand at what level. For instance, let's put it this way. In terms of skills, I guess we have three types of skills. We have the skilled, we have the semi-skilled, and we have the unskilled in when we classify it under education. Now, and your part falls under the semi-skilled. So for instance, if the capacity for a person that does not know how to read and write enter into this vocational training, don't you think it will be very difficult
No.
to the educationist? Don't you think it's very difficult for somebody that has no formal knowledge, don't know how to speak English? How can the person communicate with his client? I guess these are some questions that you guys can ask. But I guess from now, from a little moment, I have to give you guys the opportunity to just at least deliberate and have some conversation with both angles, deliberating on more. So if I have any other question or maybe from our comment section, I can definitely chip in those questions. So it's over to you guys now. So can you just elaborate more on why it's not difficult and why do you think skill and everything, your points and your valid reasons?
Good day, audience. I'm here to oppose the notion which is skills are better than education. Yeah. Skills is a practical ability that allow you to work, to create, to repair, and to earn. It allows you to earn a living more easily than education. Then don't get us wrong. We are not saying education is not important. It is. But what we are saying is skills is more better, more preferable than education. Here are my reasons. One, skills. Anyone, I mean anyone, whether you undergo secondary school, primary school, it doesn't need any university qualifications to go and apply for your skills. Skills doesn't guarantee that you must have a university degree or something. No, anyone can go, both the poor, the average, the rich, the orphans, they can go.
Um, okay, Uncle Ned, I want to make you understand something. There's something called adaptability.
Oh yeah.
Okay, whereby you as a skill operator, you are into a particular skill. For example, you are learning something. Then with time, your skill becomes obsolete. When I mean obsolete, I mean with new it upgrades. You know, when you learn, there are always new concepts to what you had before. So, are you trying to tell me now that what you learned 4 years back or what you learned 5 years back is what they are using now?
No.
Okay, I understand. They are not using it now, right? Okay. So how do you adapt? Do you have to go back to your skills or you have to come, adapt to the new technology? In a place whereby you were working before, okay, you were using sewing machine. As a tailor, I'm just, assuming you are a tailor and you were using sewing machine before. Then 4 years time, an industrial machine came out. Will you just go to the market and get that industrial machine and start sewing with it? When you know that was not what you were using before. When you know this thing does not require me pedaling this machine, does not require me sitting and doing. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So how do you adapt? Because what I know too is that that machine doesn't have this straightforward, principles on it. It has something that you need to read the instructions. So you that is not educated and you are doing something like cut and sew is what I will address it at. Cut and sew. And all of a sudden you start operating a machine that works with electricity and you just go to the market, get the machine. How will you read the instructions on it? Or will you go back and pay to learn the skill again? Or you adapt? That's what I want to understand.
That's a very good question, and I'll answer it. At first, you didn't just start by buying your sewing machine. You start from somewhere. You go to a place where they know more than in the skills. Then the person has to educate you on it, on how to do it. Then the person taught you everything you need to know about it, right? Good. When you get it again, you can also go back to that
They will
place.
educate you too.
Then you go for more upgrade.
Yes. But you just said that they will educate you more. Because
Listen.
it doesn't need a degree.
Okay.
Your colleague said, sorry, boss. Your colleague said when she gets the machine, she obviously did not understand how the machine works. So she has to go and meet a higher person who wants more than her level to educate her.
Again, skills is more preferable, more better than education.
Thank you.
In our economics now, it is more preferable.
Okay, thank you so much. I never said it was not preferable.
Okay.
Skill is preferable.
Yeah.
Education is valuable.
Yeah.
And in our present economy, valuable people are which are the educated ones. You can't go to a company, and I'll go to a company, they will hire you as an executive manager. It is not possible without education. Even a front desk operator, you can't be there. Because why? You still need to use the computer to access, letters and things coming into the company. So you can't be there. You can just go there and say, okay, for example, in a bakehouse, you learn baking, and you want to go there and work. Will you go there and apply as a manager? No. Will you go there and apply as an executive manager? No. Or a secretary? No. What will you go there for? Go there as a baker, right? What you know. And when you are done with what you are doing, you still have to submit to an higher authority that this is what I have done. That person has the right to tell you that this thing you did know is not good. We can't put this out for people to see. For a person to tell you that, that means he's thinking critically and, he has this standard that he is to tell you that what you did is wrong and it cannot be put out for people to see. Please.
Can I also tell you something? In all organizations,
Yes.
there are always higher people, higher authorities.
Who are the higher authorities?
Wait, let me tell you something. Even in education, there are people, some have HND, some have ND, some BSc, some masters. So
Yes.
there are higher levels. That's how it is.
Okay.
So saying maybe I apply as a baker, going there for a manager, this, that. No, it's not necessary.
Can an unskilled person work as a manager in a bakehouse? Unskilled person?
Yes.
That's for you to tell me.
When you talk about baking, like the person don't know anything about baking,
Yes.
all of a sudden just applying for a manager
Okay.
in a bakehouse.
Okay.
Then correcting someone who trained
Okay.
for like 2 or 3 years
Okay.
that what you did is wrong, or this thing you can't put it out for people to see it or for people to know it.
Okay. Thank you. You see, let me kind of go higher a bit. In the four corners of the university, the higher institution, you don't only go there for a particular thing. Like I said, education teaches you everything, not just one thing. Okay, I can go there and say, okay, this is what I want to learn. But in my course of studying, I will be exposed to other sectors and dimensions in the university. You can't tell me that a person who does not have an idea of baking cannot work in a bakehouse in our economy. It's not possible because everything that you are doing, they are all online. And it's only an educated person that can do research. I can sit here and say, okay, I want to create a particular juice. Like I want to make something out of this thing. I can go online. I can go online and bring it and pick something from there and I'll create it. My frequency in practicing it me understand it better.
Then are you saying now that skills is not important?
We are not talking about like education versus uselessness. No. We are talking about education versus narrow skills.
In our society now, education doesn't matter.
Okay.
Okay, for example, somebody that went to school 4 years, 5 years, after everything, sitting at home, waiting for a job, to work in a company or looking for work somewhere big.
Okay.
Then somebody that learns skills, wants handwork. We have the next tech who trained. During that process while training, they are earning their money for survival. Then somebody that went to school after 4 years, sitting at home, waiting for education to come and bring food to your table. How do you explain that?
Okay. I love one skill you put up. You said a nail tech, right? If I should understand how a nail tech works, when this nail stuff came up, there's something they call file. They were using a file for the nails, right? To prep nails and do all that. But it got to a point, someone sat down and said, this thing wastes time. Okay, there's something I can create, a driller. And the person sat down and created a driller for you to use. So you that is a nail tech, were you having that idea before? It all depends on education.
Do you know a driller can also be made by a skilled person who is not educated?
An
Do
automated
you know
machine,
that?
an automated
Do you
machine
know
should
that?
be made by someone that is not skilled. You should consider, please.
You can't say like machines technology. Somebody that is just skilled, not the person is not practically stable, cannot operate it. You go online, people go online, search things, different things. This is what comes out. This is what comes out. Did you look at the tip of where it is coming from?
Okay.
Well, we all know technology, 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 technology. The fine nails you are talking about, we all hear about filling nails. Who operated all those technologies of the thing? When hereby you put your leg or you put your hands, very soon your contest has already dried up, your nails, all those stuff.
Those are
Who
all physics.
uploaded it?
And those are all
You can't
methods.
tell me just a skilled person that just went there
And
and
created a dryer that has to do with electricity, that has to do with air. It's not possible, please.
We have some children now, as we are speaking, as this cow water is, they can make it move. Do you know that?
That's
physics.
educated.
No,
It's a physics
they
practical.
are not
That's a physical
It's a
thing.
physics practical.
That
No.
is a physics
You
practical.
don't expect
And it is called the magnetic field.
Okay. What about that thing is done by a child who don't know anything about education?
You cannot say the child doesn't know anything about education because if it
I've
doesn't
seen
know
one.
if it doesn't know anything about education, it won't know what a magnet is and how a magnet works.
Knowledge.
Okay. Can I say something here?
Yes.
From your perspective now, like
What's
from
perspective, please?
from my perspective,
Okay.
saying someone can make can water move, and you're saying the person must be educated. Do you know, like, from I guess everyone passes through their childhood, and there was a time there was this particular time when we were growing up, where you see children can just come home, can just use carton to cut paper, can just put a Motorola, and the carton can just keep on moving.
Yes.
First of all, that person, that kid, did not pass. You can't tell me that kid has already passed through secondary school, because I remember during childhood, we can come up with cartons. We can carve in even this architect, these people that draws building. You get, people can carve cartons just from their imaginations. Imaginations, talents, and how will I classify them? Is there some inbound ability that everybody has? Will you now tell me that those inbound ability, will you not tell me that some people that try to do it, maybe they are not doing it perfectly? Because there's someone I came across on TikTok a few days ago. He's a young guy, and that guy should not be up to 18 years. Should not even be more than 16 years. And I saw him creating this ice cream box, that's drum they use for ice cream, with carton, and the thing was moving. First of all, that guy did not pass through physics, chemistry. That is just an inbound ability.
Yes.
Will you now say an inbound ability is not to be classified as a skilled person because education is not backing it? That's my first question for you guys.
You just got that question wrong. Or rather, you just said it wrong. I didn't tell you that skills, we are backing up skills. Like we need to back up skills for them. I never said so. You just said ability, right?
Okay.
Do you know that in physics, everything that maybe that child created or something has already been discovered.
Yes. They are all based
They've
on
already been
technologies.
they are all based on technology. He's working with electricity.
Yes.
He knows how it works. Okay, let's say you said the child is not skilled, or I don't know how you said it. He's just coming up. He's a small child, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But he knows that if he holds this particular wire, so this one, barehanded, he's going to get an electrocution, right?
Yeah.
So how did he know he was going to get an electrocution? Is it through what he was seeing from someone, or what he heard, or what he saw, or he was born with it? They just gave birth to him today. The next morning, he started
Okay,
connecting.
let me chip in a question here. Is this debate really about um, education and how would I put it? Education and or is about what a person know? Is it what the capacity of a person, what the person can do versus certificate? Because now, for instance, now beyond those discovery, for instance, the person that discovered electricity, yeah, he has to do a lot of research, a lot of research. We can't deny the fact that it not undergo some military training, because when you said there's somebody that might have discovered that particular thing, you get, there are many things that are being discovered, and sometimes you might do it unknown to you that that thing has been discovered. You get, what if the person did not actually, the kid did not actually know that, okay, maybe somebody just saw, like the ice cream box I use as an example. He saw somebody moving that ice cream box. Now, and he said, this thing, I think I can make it like with a carton. This is a human being pushing something. You get? Now, maybe I can make it with a carton, and this carton can be moving. I'm not trying to be biased defending anyone. I'm just trying to bring out from your own point. I can think of this carton to be moving. Now, regardless of how the person, regardless of how the person actually created it, maybe not to a particular standard that that carton can carry goods, but with the mindset of seeing it, because creativity is another dimension. You get, your creativity, you can be creative without even having education. You can be creative without having education. Do we agree to that?
Yes.
Okay, you mean education permits creativity? Is that what you're trying to say?
It permits creativity because it's in educational form. It's permit because even in higher institution you learn creativity. That was what I said. I said education teaches you not only one thing but everything.
Without education, one cannot be creative. Be creative, rather.
That's what the skill said.
No, that's what you are trying to insinuate now. Like I said, creativity, everybody has, most people have this creative mindset.
Yes. Okay.
Now, and I asked, does the education which you seems to back on now, will you say this creativity that this person has to be a form of education, or is an inbound ability?
Okay. If you want to say it's an inbound ability, I will actually call that a guesswork. Because why? You don't have proper, you know, you don't understand the proper instruction regarding those particular things you are using. You don't have the proper, you know, the proper mindset guiding those things.
Okay, wait. Let's put it this. Scientific, how scientists work. Scientists has to, I guess, a theory is something that has undergo trial and error. You get? There must be trial and error before anything is being invented.
Yes.
Because nothing was invented once. Electric bulbs we see today, the cars we see today, they undergo trial and errors. Now, a baby, a little child with this creative mindset, you can't say that person cannot undergo that trial and error process. Because if you say it's by education, that baby has to, he cannot know what's happening. Because I remember during my childhood, if torchlight gets bad at all, you can easily just open it and look at where the wire. You say, should I put it here? If I put it here, maybe it will on. It was
That's a guesswork. You just say maybe.
Try and error.
That's a
Because
guesswork.
before anything was born, before anything was invented, like this light, the person already has said, okay, maybe something apart from the sun can actually bring forth light. And he tried. At the process of trying, he never knew the final solution. It took time, it took theory, it took moments to make sure that that thing happened. And I can categorically tell you that there are many times that anything you invent will definitely fail. And during that process of failing, you learn from your mistakes. And at the process of trying from that first part, it's actually a guesswork, because you don't know the final result from that onset. So you can't tell me that a creative person tried guesswork now. A creative person that tried guesswork, you will not tell me that because he's not well educated, he's not permitted. Like, it's not permitted to be seen as a creative mindset, because you said a creative mindset is not like something like, except education is packing it, except the person know what he's doing. So a creative mindset now, a creative person that does not undergo this process of education now, you can't I don't think I can agree with that part that you say this creative mindset or the try and error the person is doing is not recognized because it's not backing education.
Okay. You said it's try and error, right? Try and error, right?
Yeah.
How did the person know what he just did fail?
Because there must be
Experience.
okay, wait. I guess let me have to put this
Experience from what? From where?
From it.
From which thing?
Yes, now wait.
It's called
Before you start something,
experience.
Experience from what? What is
wait,
experience?
wait. Before you start something, wait. Let's be on the same page. Before you have something like, if maybe for instance now, during olden days now, our parents would tell us that there was no fridge. Like my mom do say, during olden days, if they want to get cold water, they'll put it in a clay pot and keep it somewhere.
Yes.
Wait, it will get cold. You get. And somebody came and said, I want to do something that we actually get cold. There's actually a goal. And if at the beginning of it, the thing actually came out hot, the person will know that he failed, because there's actually a goal. You can't tell me that somebody that's okay, he made mistake, we know he made mistake. Except you don't have a goal, except you are just doing, you are just playing. There must be a goal. You have a goal for everything. Until the person found out that, okay, this refrigerator now can actually make this thing block. And you come to say, okay, it's what we can call a refrigerator, because it's better than a clay pot put in the corner. And it has to differentiate to the fridge. Like, okay, fridge can make it cold without getting blocked. Refrigerator can make it block in a short period of time. So for you saying that, how would the person know he's failed? I would categorically answer you that the person knows that the end goal was not met without formal education.
Without formal education.
Yes.
And he did analysis that this is what he wanted to do.
Yes.
He did analysis, right?
Yes.
So
Analysis
what
can
gave
be,
him the mindset to analyze?
that's
before
where
creating?
creativity comes in. Analysis can be analysis. See, let me tell you something. Okay, let's bring I understand your own point of view. I'm not trying to counter those things. Please, I hope you guys are following me. Now, for instance now is this. And let's bring when you say analysis now, let's bring data to it. For an accountant to work in a bank, or for someone that studies statistics, there are formulas for statistics, right? Do you know that a market woman might not follow that formula, but he actually needs, or it's just like using a calculator. Oh, you want to do a square of 25. Somebody that does not know square roots can say, okay, let me put 5 in 5 places. It's different. It can be a rough data. Analysis can be a rough data. I'm just trying to say that a market man can only square root, definitely, if does not undergo a formal education. Now, but there can be a rough data that can be called an analysis.
Thank you.
Because English call it analysis. So then they can just call it, oh, this is their sketch work.
Okay, yeah.
You understand that part?
Yes. That same market woman that has been selling for decades normally do, okay, this is the price of this. Okay, 5,000. So extent, the person needed a calculator to make the sales faster and easier.
Okay. Okay. So what is your question now? Because at first, before the invention of calculator, I believe that people were making calculations, and
Their brain.
and another thing is this. Before, I guess at the early stage of mathematics, there's what we call abacus.
Yes.
I don't know if you remember.
Yeah.
You get, and people, I believe, to me, I just assume that those things that they just arrange wood and begin to use, so you get, and at some point mathematics begin to formulate, calculation, computer begin to formulate, you get. Yeah. So you can't say because there is no should I say, because there is no calculator at that moment.
I never said if there is no calculator at that moment.
No, you say at some point people need calculator.
It was someone who came up with that idea to say, this way of calculation is slow, and it consumes more time. Someone has to sit up, or I don't know how you want to see it. Someone has to sit up and say, okay, there's something that you can just bring out, press in, input the figures, and get the answer. Does that also have to do with your so-called guesswork or your skills without education, as she said?
Yes, everything you're talking about is creative.
So if somebody just sat down and created calculator, someone just sat down and created calculator without education.
Wait,
okay.
There are some things that wait. Let's digest this here. Let's digest this here. We can't. For me, I don't know for them. I am saying for myself. No, I'm not. I'm saying for myself because I have some questions for them as well in terms of why we say why you pick up skills as a better options to education. I have my own question for them. I'm just trying to let's get in the same page. Okay. You said, like you asked the question before they answered, like somebody just without no formal education. Now, for me, I know both work in hands, but I have to counter your belief. You get. So education, I believe everybody knows there is a problem in one way or the other, because before you invent something, you must identify the problem. In education, that's the first thing in mathematics. Before you can solve any equation, identify the problem. Before you can solve anything in marketing, you must identify the problem. Now, somebody that invented calculator definitely identify a problem that, okay, something can make this thing faster. Something can make this thing, so this thing can help somebody calculate a larger figures. You get, that is a problem that is being identified. and someone had to come up with a solution. Be it with formal education. You be it with formal education, because I believe these things that scientifically, most of the things we use, you can't get it from skills. That's why I have to counter you when you said from creativity. Now, just like for instance, now a scientist that had to discover drugs for a particular disease. I'm coming to you for the skills because you say it's through creativity. A scientist that has to discover a drug for a particular disease. Can you tell me that it has to come from creative mindset when it's not herbal supplements? These, I mean, medical drugs. Because first of all, your creative mindset cannot give you a full degree in medicine. They have to be, yeah, I believe they have to undergo a full training in school, practical theory. So how will you explain that? If you tell me um, things that are being invented are for creativity. Now, in terms of drugs in medicine, would you also tell me that, would you also tell the audience that um, it's out of creativity that somebody say, okay, if somebody is feeling headache, let's invent paracetamol. Paracetamol can actually cure this. Is that of creativity or formal education?
There are people who study theory.
Okay, theory in skills or theory in education.
That's the education we're talking about.
Okay,
People study theory in education.
okay.
And in skills, practical is needed.
And what's the guarantee that you have that practicals are not being done in school? Because um I believe in school. Um I I had the privilege to go to school, and yeah, so practicals
involvement of an architect?
Knowledge.
No, not knowledge. Because even the society you live in, that's why when they're building
Then you
house,
want to build a one room.
you
Draw it.
you
Then
can't.
You call architect.
The architect is the major work of them is to draw the pattern. Because even a person that is unskilled cannot tell you like, okay, this is the place, so you have to put 1,000 blocks. No, it's not done. You get because
we have many of them.
Wait.
Many that are not educated.
Wait, let me drop.
I will take that.
Let me drop that.
No.
Let me drop. Do you know that? I believe in this our locality, everywhere was bushy. And there need to be a road. They need to know that yes, called federal road, oh, yes, government road, yes, local government, or yes, here need to be a street. Will you tell me that an unskilled person will be capable to work in a governmental organization that has to draw you? Do you know that this whole locality now there's a landmark that if you see in some places now, if you see a building that is wrongly placed, they will put a signboard that demolish or remove within 7 days. You see, do you know the reason for that? It's because the original plan of that locality, that building was not meant to be there. And without the help of a skilled person to work in that place, an unskilled person, you can just come and say at the Tiro Junction, somebody will start laying foundation there.
No.
Now, do you think an unskilled person will be able to differentiate that?
Yes.
No. That without formal education.
Yes.
In the olden days.
Not only
in the olden days, they were huts. If you go to some villages, you see how huts was built. I can say those people just came in and started building this thing. Because you can't talk about, we're talking about current generation. We're talking about a current generation. I'm not talking about, because it is, somebody can just say, my father left a plot of land for you. He will go to the center and build mud house and use his surrounding as garden. That is his father's land, or that's his own personal land. But I believe in our current economy, in our current generation now, to build a house now, it has to pass through the work in architects. So will you tell me now that an unskilled person with no formal education can actually do the work of an architect?
Sure.
Okay.
You never see where small people carry book and Bible. They draw person.
Wait, that's an illustration. We're talking about a real life situation.
Yes.
A real life situation whereby for instance, a real life situation whereby somebody will just come out because the baby or the person know how to draw somebody with it. There's no guarantee that the person knows how to convert it in real life, because the ruler in book is not the same material.
Are you now telling me that those people who I know as the bouquet or whatever,
Yeah, there's an
they
architect.
are educated?
No,
Not educated.
no, they are working as laborers.
You are getting it wrong.
No, we have to understand this. See, have you passed through the entire process of land, the process of getting land, the process of laying foundation? If you have passed through that process, I guess you will understand
I
that.
want to remind them that there's something called land surveying when it comes to building.
That's done by a skilled person. Because
Do you want to start a building without surveying the land?
Because a person can draw, this is my dream house in a book. That does not give, I don't think that gives a guarantee that the person that draws that particular plan will just go to the land and say, because this is my dream house, I start drawing. Now what far? That's not done in 2026. That's not done now.
I'm sorry.
Anyway, I guess we have passed our actual time. And I time is up, and they are calling, our audience are calling for our attention now that we have a lot of time. So I guess we have to come to a conclusion in this chapter that to our viewers out there, our viewers I will actually be the judge, and we'll be saying at this moment that from what we've heard from the skills acquisition supporters and the education supporters, I can simply come to a conclusion, and I'll give our audience a fact that I don't think we all in this 2026 can deal without the other, because I believe that in this society where we are now, your competence, what you can do, matters, and also the degree you attain matters. That gives you a leverage, because a person with a baker that has an education attached to his skill, his or her skill, can do better in this current economy, because the person is exposed to how the world is rotating, how the world is evolving. The person is exposed to fundamental news. The person is exposed to ideas. The person is exposed to what others are doing far and near with his or her education. The person can also move down to being a good marketer. The person can know that, okay, with my skills, I can market it in this way. I can create ads in this way. So I believe that we really can't do with the other, and we will urge our viewers to take this home that as an educationist, as an literate, you actually need a skill to be able to have leverage out there. And as a skilled practitioner, when you have the chance and the ability, it is essential that you look forward in going for education, because you definitely need education to stand in some certain places. You can't work in a governmental parastatals without at least having your OND, your Pram 6 results. Even in the army, some of them, even in the army, if you go to school without, if you enter the army without formal education, your process of going to there, you have to pass through school. You have to write exams. So that leaves us with a conclusion that education is important, and also skills is important. Thank you to all our viewers out there. And please move. We have to come to a conclusion. I believe we all enjoy this conversation, and I'm looking forward in having another time with you guys and having another moment, because I also have a lot of things that I need to. I don't even talk down to the AI evolution we have in there. We don't have to. I don't have to go deeper.
Because I don't talk about digital.
So
Don't talk about digital. We want to tell you about digital. You have no knowledge.
I believe our audience enjoyed our wonderful podcast show. We'll be having another moment with you guys in this same station and at a different time. So please stay tuned. If you are not following our page, do have to follow our page. If you are yet to like, subscribe. We actually saw a lot of your comments and we enjoyed your engagement. Thank you all, and see you all next time.
Please, let work, don't go to school.
In same station.
Skills can only create opportunity.
Bye.
But education expands opportunity.
Our next debate will be going on
Bye.
education and Yahoo.
Everything
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Come up for inside the office.
You know that 21 viewers for TikTok. Ola go far.
Okay, hold the food.
My baby.
Ah.